A little late. Sorry about that. Trying to get everything set up. Hope everybody's doing well. Hope you're having a good day. It's the 4th of July. Greetings to everybody worldwide. We're on, like, what are we on right now? Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, uh, checking in with everybody. There is some stuff to talk about. If you're checking in, let us know what city or country you're checking in from. We've also got some HIRAX tour dates to talk about. And once again, we hope everybody's doing well. It's been kind of a heavy week. We lost Sean Glass, a good friend of ours, and a good friend to everybody out there that knew him from the metal community. And there's a lot of new things happening here in the HIRAX camp. So just want to say hello. Hope everybody's doing good. So if you're checking in, let us know where you're checking in from. I'm sure there's some stuff popping up. Once again, we're sorry for being late, but we're still going to do an hour of talking about music, records, toys, whatever you guys want to talk about. So we got some dates coming up. I think we'll be in Brazil next week. I don't think I know we'll be in Brazil next week. Also, Costa Rica. No, wait. El Salvador and Guatemala. I think there's going to be a Costa Rican date as well. And we're coming to Tijuana, Mexico in October. So, yeah. And also, Immortal Legacy is now up and available for streaming for all the people that have been asking about that record, which became a ghost for the last 12 years. It is up on Spotify, Spotify, iTunes, Apple Music, and all of them. So, you get a chance, go check it out. It's finally back up. So, anyways, what's happening?
Yeah. So happy 4th of July. Yeah, I guess. Got some fireworks going on around here. Some people say hello from France. I guess they're not having that 4th of July. And the Netherlands. This Chris from Minnesota, but I don't know, Bemidji, Minnesota, Houston, Texas.
Minnesota, what's up? What's up, Houston, Texas?
Heat going on.
Yep.
Christopher Koenig, I hope you got your faster than death patch finally.
Hey, Christopher.
And Marco's here, and Ryan, and all kinds of people are just saying hello. So nice.
Well, hello, everybody. I haven't had my coffee yet, so let me have some right now, actually. Getting coffeeed up. If you have a beverage, raise up your beverage. Cheers to you. First cup of coffee this morning.
That red cup's kind of special. We got it when we were in the studio recently in February.
Yeah, it's a good story.
Recording some new stuff.
Yeah, we already started recording, working on the new HIRAX record. This cup is actually because the studio that we were at didn't have coffee cups, so we ran out to Dollar Tree and picked up a bunch of cups for the band members, and this is the one I got. Red cup.
Miami, Illinois.
Hello, Miami and Illinois.
Reggie's, great.
Hey,
energy.
to everybody out there in Chicago, Reggie's is like one of our second homes. We love playing there. We played there quite a few times. Back to Sean Glass. Every time we would play at Reggie's, either he would come out to see us or he would send a message, even if he couldn't make it. So that's what makes this whole Sean Glass thing a little heavy. He's a part of our community and a part of our family. So like I said, even if he wasn't able to make it to our shows, he would always send somebody as like a messenger to tell us, good luck and have a great show. So he will be sorely, sorely missed. I don't want to keep it too sad, though, because, we also got to remember that music is life, and Sean's music will continue to live, and his legacy will live, and our condolences to his family as well. I don't know much more to say. I'm pretty sad about it. That's all I can really say. Something still kind of processing. But anyways.
Rest in peace. It's hard. But on the opposite end, someone said, thanks for the happy birthday wishes at Muscle Rock. Love your budgie shirt.
Oh, yeah.
From Wales.
Yeah, I think we did Happy Birthday. We actually sang it. So happy birthday once again. I'm glad you were at Muscle Rock.
That Sweden.
That was a
great
festival. That was a really great festival. Actually,
we missed our June live stream because we were.
Yeah, we were on the road. We should talk a little bit about the touring and the records that are out now. All the HIRAX records have been released. reissued or whatever you want to call it. So these we have on our. If you check out our Big Cartel, the HIRAX Big Cartel, and the HIRAX Bandcamp, you can find these records there. The first record, Raging Violence. This is the 40th year anniversary of Hate, Fear, and Power. That's there as well. All these are on colored wax and also black wax. New Age of Terror. El Rostro de la Muerte. Which also comes with a extra 7-inch. It's not just a 12-inch vinyl, but it also has a 7-inch in it. And Immortal Legacy, which is kind of a big deal right now just because it finally got backup streaming. So like I said, if you have all those streaming platforms, you can find Immortal Legacy. It's been like 12 years since it came out 12 years ago and it was gone like a ghost, and now it's back. So check out Immortal Legacy. We're pretty happy about that. And also Faster Than Death, our most recent new studio record. But we're also working on a new record right now as we speak. So there'll be more happening. To my band members, Matthew, Alan, and Jeremy, what's up, guys? Doing a hell of a job. We've been touring a lot. Like I said, I'll be seeing them next weekend. We're going to Brazil. To everybody in Brazil, we'll see you soon. And I think it's January, end of January, beginning of February, we'll be back in South America. So don't worry. We just had to reschedule some stuff. But we are definitely coming back to South America early 2027. And we're looking forward to it. We receive all your messages, so don't think that we don't. We do read everything. And we know that everybody's been concerned about what's going on with the South American tour. It's still going to happen. It's just been rescheduled. And it's going to be a really nice surprise when the dates are released because we're doing it with 2 other really great bands. So keep an eye on the internet. We'll be dropping the South American dates very soon. And also, I'll take questions. There's a lot of stuff that I got on the last tour of Europe that people gave me, even when we played Milwaukee Metal Fest, so many great people, so many great fans that care about the band from the heart, and we get a lot of gifts, and we really appreciate that. So amazing, some of the stuff that. Hey, can you hand me that doll right there? When we played in Mexico, San Luis Potosi, this was one of the gifts. So we get a lot of cool, crazy stuff, and we appreciate this. This stuff comes back home with us, and it's part of our home. Some Batman comic books that were given to me. I really appreciate this stuff. I want you guys to know everything that's given to me. I feel really grateful, and I never take it for granted. So thank you so much. There's more stuff. We were able to stop at some record stores on this tour. One of the stores we visited in Milwaukee was called Rushmore. Great record store. So if you're ever out in Milwaukee, check out Rushmore Records. I'm trying to remember. There's a name. It slips me because it was a Swedish name. But when we were in Sweden at the Abyss Club, next door to it, like a door or 2 down from it, was this really cool record store that I stopped in, and they had amazing stuff. I love record shopping when I'm on tour because we're in different countries, so the pressings are different. Some of the album cover artwork's different. It's really amazing to be able to do that. So we'll talk about records, and also if you're into toys, been some really cool toys we've come across lately from touring in Canada and Sweden. I found some really cool stuff in Sweden, some Skeletor stuff. Just having a lot of fun. But the tours have been great. The fans have been coming out. We want to thank everybody that has been coming to the shows. Thank you so much.
Chris, we love you, Katon. Honored to have you crowd surf over us in Hell East. Haha. Respect that you still do small venues as well.
Yeah, I love small venues. And don't get me wrong, the big shows are great. Obviously, we feel very fortunate and grateful to play big shows, but the club shows are still my personal favorite. I think the whole band feels that way. It's just that it's a closer connection, and it's what metal's all about. Getting that close to the fans is the best.
Yeah, let's see. Martin Solomon, play Los Angeles again soon, please.
Yeah, we do need to play LA very soon. I talked to a friend yesterday from one of the other local bands here in LA. So we're working on some ideas for Los Angeles. Obviously, when we play LA, it's got to be special because it's our home turf. So we want to do something really, really well put together. So it'll be soon, though. So thanks for asking about that.
Ah, Dave Gonzalez from Zacto.
Dave, what's up?
Man?
What's happening? Dave Gonzalez from Sacramento.
We gotta do a show soon, he says. Cliff Stairs, saw you guys with Primer Gray opening here in Bakersfield in the mid-'80s.
That's way old school.
Yeah.
Haven't played Bakersfield in a long time. Would like to get back there, though. I think what's great about those smaller cities like Bakersfield, there's metalheads there. So if we can find a venue that'll work, we'll come back to Bakersfield for sure. Why not?
Yeah. Fraser Ian Dawson, Budgie, very underrated band from England.
Thank you.
Yeah. Good to see Fraser's chiming in on a lot of stuff there, so thank you.
All right, Fraser.
And is there any chance, Patrick, is there any chance to see HIRAX at the 20th Hellfest anniversary next year? Hellfest, we always talk about that great festival.
I would like to get back there. Obviously, we love France. France has always been one of the areas that we tour through where we always have really great turnouts. The fans are amazing. I'm not just saying that. I really love France. So Hellfest, if it's their 20th anniversary, that would be something really interesting. And obviously, we would love to come back. We played Hellfest years ago, and it was fantastic. I think it's one of the most amazing festivals out of all of them. It's right up there with all the other big festivals, but it's a very special place, and so hopefully we'll get back to Hellfest.
Nice. Let's see. We got 322 Jesse. What's up? When wants to know about the LA gig also, and Kevin Scholten from the Netherlands.
Kevin, what's up, buddy?
Yeah.
We need to play LA. I mean, I can't wait to do it because also it's like a homecoming. But I want to find a really cool venue so we can play and there's no barriers. That's one of the things we're trying to find is a venue with no barriers where we can let everybody just go crazy and have a good time. I think the barriers are not making it the way it should be. I'm back in the day, playing shows with no barriers was a lot of fun, and we still love that. So hopefully we can find a venue that will allow there's no barrier between the audience and the band, and we can get back to the old school style that we like. So yeah, that's what we're trying to figure out. But LA will happen, hopefully sooner than later.
Thomas Pinero's here.
Thomas Pinero!
Yeah.
What's up, buddy? Thank you so much. Some of your artwork sitting on the table right here. Yeah, I mean, for us, it's all about keeping it real, sticking with where we came from, playing the kind of music that we like playing, and trying not to compromise for anybody. It's all about playing from the heart. So I want to say, thanks for all the support because we keep getting more and more support. All you guys that have been even stopping by our websites like Big Cartel and Bandcamp, thank you because that helps the band so much. Also, this is a flyer for a Guatemala. Wait, I think it's the Guatemala tour that we're doing with Destruction. HIRAX and Destruction are doing a couple of dates in Central America, so we hope to see everybody there for those dates. And here's the flyer for Tijuana. Tijuana Dragon Rojo Bar, October 17th. Dragon Rojo Bar, we'll see you there. Great venue. It's from what I know, it's the biggest heavy metal bar in the world. So Dragon Rojo Bar, we'll see you October 17th in Tijuana, Mexico.
That's a free one.
It's a free show, by the way. Yeah, so it's for their anniversary. It's the 12th anniversary of Dragon Rojo Bar. They're doing a free show. We're in a headline, and we'll see you there. So, yeah.
Yeah. Were you able to see Crew back in 1982? Mike Lund.
Mike Lund. Awesome. I love Mike Lund. That dude.
Yeah.
It's amazing that I get to know so many cool people from the music scene. And Mike Lund, you're one of them. So, thanks for checking in. Question about Motley Crue. Yeah, I was lucky to see them really early on. I mean, I saw some of their earliest shows. I saw them at the Whiskey A Go-Go. I saw them at a place called Radio City in Anaheim, California. This is very early 80s. Motley Crue was headlining. We were going to go see them anyways, but we also found out this new band called Rat and another new band called Steeler. Steeler had Yngwie Malmsteen on guitar, and Rat believe it or not, was the support band, and they had Jakey Lee on guitar, and it was one of the best like local shows I've ever seen. I mean, back then I was lucky because I was going to see Yesterday and Today. I was a young kid, but I was going to see all those bands very early in the game. It was before YNT had become YNT. They were called Yesterday and Today, and then like a week later or two later, I went and saw Motley Crue. Maybe a little bit earlier than that, but I went and saw Motley Crue a few times, and I before they even had a record out, and they were really really good. I think uh, people don't realize how good they were because of all the glam stuff, but live, especially Tommy Lee on drums, they were amazing. And Mick Mars, who's very underrated, had an incredibly raw guitar sound, and I actually saw them at a show with James Hetfield. Me and James Hetfield went to see Motley Crue in Whittier. No, it was actually Wilmington, California. The club's not there anymore. It was in a warehouse. Now it's just a warehouse, but back then it was called Centrex, and it was Motley Crue. They were the only band that played, and there were 15 people there, and one of them, besides myself, was James Hetfield. And then after the show, because there was no security, I mean, it was such a small show, there were no security guards. We went back and we were hanging out with Motley Crue talking to them. I don't know if James would admit that now, but back in the day, James Hetfield was a big Motley Crue fan, and so was I, and we went and saw them. But this is before they really broke out of LA, so they didn't even have records out yet. But good show, and I'll never forget talking to Mick Mars. We were talking about the Killers album because he had just gotten a copy of the Iron Maiden Killers album, and he thought it was amazing, and so did I. So that's kind of how me and Mick Mars bonded, was over Iron Maiden Killers. So anyways, that's one of my early stories of Motley Crue. But I saw them a few times before they blew up, and they were really good. So thanks for that question, Mike Lund. You rule, brother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So then we have Christoph. Who is the band you wanted to tour with but somehow never happened?
Wow, there's a few. When we were starting out, the second year, the second record, Hate, Fear, and Power came out in 1986, and us and Sacrifice from Canada, we were supposed to tour together, and it didn't happen just because we were such new bands. A lot of people didn't know who we were, but it's kind of crazy to think about that because both bands are legendary now. But back in 1986, Sacrifice and Hyrax were supposed to tour together. We didn't do that, but that was one of the bands that I would have loved to have toured with. We actually did select dates. Early Megadeth was cool, so touring with them would have been cool if we did more dates. And we actually did a few shows where it was us, Megadeth, and Exciter, and that was a great package. So that would have been one of those ones that I would have loved to have done more dates with. And then obviously one of my favorite bands from back, especially back in the early days, was Exodus with Paul Bailoff. So we did some shows with them, but if we would have done like a full U.S. tour or European tour with Exodus with Bailoff on vocals, that would have been amazing. But there's a lot of great bands. I mean, I still, to this day, still love Sodom, so touring with them. Recently, we got to play with one of their guitar players, Andy Brings, and that was amazing because Andy's an amazing guitar player, and that was an honor to get up on stage and jam with him in Germany. So, I mean, you always remember the bands that you just like love and have respect for. So those are some of the bands I would have loved to have toured with, or still love to have toured with. And another band that I like a lot, that I think would be like one of the perfect bands for us to tour with, would probably be Tankard. I think Tankard and Hyrax would be a fun tour. But there's many. I mean, it's like it's slipping my mind right now because there's so many bands. And then there's bands that we just also have respect for, whether we tour with them or not. Like recently, for some reason, when we've been touring, we run into their local band like we are. So they're from the Los Angeles area, but we've been running into Armored Saint a lot, and it's just always good to see them. They're good people, great band, especially for what they do. So yeah, I mean, it's like a mutual respect thing, and it's really cool when you have that, where you see other musicians that you respect, and it's always good to see them. So those are just some of the ideas of bands, but there's many. Like I said, I know I'm forgetting a ton of bands right now. I mean, we're getting ready to do some dates with Destruction, so that's a band that will be great for us to tour with. So it's and they're old friends. We've known Destruction since like at least 1984, 83. Early Celtic Frost would have been another great band to tour with. We've known them since the beginning. Tom G. Warrior designed our logo, so when you see the HIRAX logo, that's something that Tom G. Warrior from Celtic Frost designed. So yeah, just the friendships that you have, the tour with some of those bands would be cool. So that's who, off the top of my head, those are some of the bands.
Yeah, and you started the fan club.
Yeah, and a lot of people don't know this, but I started Destruction's U.S. fan club back in 1984, so I go way back with Destruction. It'll be good to see them in Central America when we tour with them. So, yeah.
Yeah, so Christoph said, thanks for replying. Hyrax Sacrifice Exciter Tankard would be a killer day at any festival or concert.
That would be fun.
Yeah, and Tankard just played at Hell's Heroes, I guess, the last Hell's Heroes.
Yeah, they're a great band. And also, Hell's Heroes is a great festival, one of my favorite U.S. festivals. Also, I have to give a thumbs up to Milwaukee Metal Fest, also Maryland Death Fest. There's some really great U.S. festivals, and I think people should just get out there and support them because the support that a lot of the European festivals get in South America is unbelievable. So if you're a U.S. metalhead, try to get out to the festivals and support them because they could use your support. Stay heavy. And I know that we're still reading some of your comments as they're coming in, so thank you guys for the comments.
Hello from Chile and Hamburg.
Chile! Viva Chile! Hamburg. Love Hamburg. Hello to everybody in Hamburg. To Remedy Records. I don't want to forget that. Remedy Records out there in Hamburg. If you're in Hamburg, Germany, check out Remedy Records. Great store. The owners are amazing for that store. So if you get a chance, check that out.
Kim Romero. Happy 4th, 250th.
Happy 4th of July out there.
Rosanna Hernandez. Are you familiar with the band Regimen? I don't know. And
not really.
Xavier supported you in Sound Dog in Breda. I guess they had a great time.
Yeah. Sound Dog, the venue's amazing. Breda is amazing. So thanks for saying that, and thanks for supporting us. That's amazing. It's really cool to tour and meet new bands, and we had a really good time out there. And I think that was the Netherlands, wasn't it?
Yeah. And greetings from Honduras and Panama. Now they're talking about where everybody's from. That's so exciting.
Love it.
What's your favorite band of the Big Four, Nathan?
Favorite band of the Big Four? That's a good-ass question. Why did you have to do that?
Question.
That's a fuck question. We haven't been asked. Okay, we haven't said that in a long time. That's something that goes back to we first started doing these live streams during the pandemic. That's why we started doing live streams. And one of the things was a fucked question is when somebody asks a very hard question to answer. But this is not a hard question for me to answer. My favorite band out of the Big Four would be fucking Slayer. So there you go. Slayer's always been out of the Big Four my favorite band for a lot of reasons. Luckily, I got to see them in their infancy, like before they had a record out too. Kind of, it's like when I was going to a lot of shows and catching a lot of bands, but I saw Slayer a few times before they had a record out, and then I also saw them right when the first record came out. So I was really lucky to see them and to see their growth as a band, to see how they progressed. I've always thought Slayer were an exceptional band. So that's my favorite band out of the Big Four. Actually, I have the box set here.
Ooh.
Yep. The box set for the Slayer Hell Awaits. I also want to say a big shout out to Metal Blade Records for putting this out. It's amazing. I've got some really good shit here, so I might be pulling some records, but whoa, this sucker's heavy. All right, so
we saw that.
Speaking of metal, all right, and being heavy, this box set's heavy as shit. So if you don't have this, if you got to save up a couple of dollars, I understand that. So, but this is worth it. Save up some money. If you don't have it, just take some time. It'll be around, I'm sure, for a little while. But get this box set. This thing's amazing. I haven't even opened my copies yet. I should, but I'm a nerd, so I'm still staring at them. But I actually helped with some of this, which was an honor. I was asked to do some liner notes for the Slayer box set, and I did it. But I still haven't even seen it. I don't even remember what I wrote, so I have to read this. But thank you to Metal Blade Records for doing this. Also, a shout out to Heidi. Heidi's awesome.
Yeah.
But
Heidi.
yeah,
Woo.
these are the two different box sets. They're both heavy as hell. This one's more heavy because it's got, I think it's like, I should actually open this sucker. But anyways, it's got the vinyl versions, and I'm gonna probably shit when I open this. But yeah, luckily, like I said, I got to see these guys in the early days. They're my favorite band out of the big four, and they always will be. So yeah, kill it. The new box set. If you don't have the Hell Awaits box set, get it. That's a little bit of PR for that record. It deserves it.
Well,
So,
it's Slayer, so what are you going to do?
it is Slayer, so. And like you said, what are you going to do?
Mike and Trish and Santa Rosa's Siegel are here. Yeah.
Awesome.
Good to hear.
Mike, Trish, you guys are amazing, lovely ass people. I know that doesn't sound so metal, but you guys are awesome and lovely, and some of the best people I know. So, love you guys, miss you. Hope to see you guys soon. I'm such a nerd. I'm trying to put my records back nice and neat.
Sorry, Rosanna Hernandez again says a shout out to Robert. Rest in peace. He loved your band. Hardcore fan. Sorry about that.
Oh yeah, and tell Roseanne hello, and we love Robert too. Amazing, amazing person.
People keep talking.
Here's the Sodom box set. This is one of my favorite big four German bands. I have nothing but mad respect for this band and all the people involved with Sodom. Great people, great band, and I got lucky to get this box set, and I appreciate it. Andy Brings, much love and respect to you. What a guitar player. We played together in Germany, and he showed up and was ready to go, had his shit together, knew the song backwards and forwards. Just a pleasure to play with, man. I'm almost feel like crying a little bit because it brought a tear to my eye. We did Bombs of Death with Andy on stage at Rock Hard Festival. Fabulous guitar player. I mean, there's no other way to put it. It sounded amazing. He just knows this kind of metal. So it was like having the fifth band member. He fit us so perfectly. When you play with a good musician, you know just by the way they complement the music. And Andy Brings is the man. So, but anyways, this is some Sodom stuff that he actually played on. I'm grateful to have it. Stoked. Box set Sodom. Tapping the Vein right here too. So I'm grateful as hell. But yeah, so that's some of the stuff. But I mean, like on these tours, I've been really fortunate to get a lot of these things because I'm just grateful to have them. Like lucky to go on tour and get some good records to come home with. Just trying to put everything away here, like the nerd that I am. But back to Mike Siegel and his lady, who are awesome. Trish, love you guys. Hope you're doing well. I'm still kind of getting my coffee in me, so let me drink a little bit more. We got a little bit more time here. If you got any more questions, shoot them at me while we're still on. I think we got probably maybe another half hour, somewhere around there. Oh, here's some records I picked up while I was in Milwaukee before we left Milwaukee, and this is one of my favorite French bands. So I know I'm kind of jumping around here with international music right now, but this is a band called Trust, who I've loved for many, many years, for decades now. This is a new live album, or probably a reissue of an old live recording, but just got this at Rushmore Records in Milwaukee. So if you get a chance, go to that store. It's really cool. And there's also a 12-inch single here as well. Just going through the records. 12-inch Trust single. Lucky to get that. I don't know if how the glare is handling on these screens here, but pretty good. Yeah, and then this was really special for me. Most people know this, but not everybody. But I'm a huge, huge Thin Lizzy fan. Grew up on this band. So this record was the last Thin Lizzy record with Phil Lynott. Fantastic record. I actually have 3 copies of it. It's very rare that I have 3 copies of any record besides the first Yesterday and Today record. I have 3 copies of that. But there's a reason for this. Uh, I had never seen this before. I was in Sweden and I was in a record store and I saw it. And I always look at records that I love. So I looked at this and I go, holy shit, I don't have this version. So this is a gatefold, Thunder and Lightning. Um, yeah, and it's a double record set, which blew me away even more. Some of you guys might know this, not everybody. I mean, it's a rare record. I believe this is a radio promo, and it's a double record set. So the second disc on here is a live record that I didn't have, so I had to get this, and it's going into my Thin Lizzy collection. So there we go. And also, let's see here. Oh yeah, iTunes, Apple Music, all that. I mean, there's so many sites that stream music now. But once again, I'm just really happy to be able to say this because for so many years it wasn't able to be streamed. But now you can get Immortal Legacy. So check it out if you get a chance. HIRAX Immortal Legacy is out streaming now. And you got some more questions, man?
Everybody loves your Budgie shirt. What's your favorite song?
Jeez. Should I pull out my Budgie records? Where do I begin? Everybody's heard Bread Fan. I think Metallica actually helped Budgie a lot, whether you like Metallica's version or not, or whether you like them or not. You got to give them credit because they made people rediscover Budgie. So if you haven't checked them out, check them out. They've got a lot of great records, so you can't just name one song. There's many. Go check out Budgie, and you'll love them. They're amazing bands. So highly suggest them. But I suggest checking out a lot of those bands from that era, especially 70s through 80s. There's bands like Budgie. There's Angel Witch. There's Diamond Head. And they're not overrated. They're actually underrated. So check those bands out, and I think you'll love what you hear. So that's how I would answer that, because like I said, there's so many records. It's kind of like bringing up a band which is a different style, but bringing up Blackfoot. Blackfoot have a lot of great records, so you have to just dig into that catalog and check them out. So yeah, any other questions?
What's your favorite HIRAX album?
Yeah, I mean, you hear this all the time from musicians. It's hard naming your favorite record, but for me, it's more about time frame, like what was going on in my life when I recorded the record, or what year it was. Obviously, the first albums, the first two, Raging Violence and Hate, Fear, and Power, are like sentimental favorites because those are the first 2 records I did. But then there's different times in my life. When we did the New Age of Terror, that was a real process because that record, a lot of people don't know this, but we recorded the New Age of Terror twice. The first time we didn't like how it turned out, so then we went back in and re-recorded the whole thing. El Rostro de la Muerte was a different record. It was a lot of work. We're also trying to kind of write a love letter to all of our fans in Spanish-speaking countries because we had realized we had a pretty big following in a lot of Spanish-speaking countries, and we wanted to make sure that those fans knew how much we love them. So that's what El Rostro de la Muerte, when I listen or look at that record, I always think of those fans. And then, Immortal Legacy was another thing where we were kind of evolving as a band, so some of the songs are a little bit longer. But I actually love all the records, even the newest one, Faster Than Death. It was a different time going through the pandemic, working on that record during the pandemic when we were on lockdown. So it's different times in my life, but I love all the records really the same. I mean, they just have different periods of my life, different things were going on, working with different producers. On the last record, we worked with Max Norman, which was a dream come true because he's one of my favorite producers. He did the first 2 Ozzy records. He worked on Loudness records. He worked on YNT records. So, and many more. There's so many bands that he worked with. It's ridiculous. But just grateful to have these opportunities to make records and the whole creative process. Recording records is totally a different thing than playing live, but I like both. Going out on tour, seeing the fans, that's the main reason I still like touring, is just because we get to meet all the cool fans, So yeah, all the records are my favorite. That's how I can say that,
All right, so let's see. Coffee and Meadow.
Hell yeah. Thanks for reminding me.
Greetings from Mexico.
Mexico!
And of course, still more Hamburgs and more Mexicos. And Matthias from Oslo.
Matthias from Oslo.
The 16-year-old.
Matthias, what's up? Hey, I haven't forgotten you. Thanks for taking a photo with me at the end of the night in Oslo. That's one of my favorite pictures. So Matthias, hello. Much respect to you. Thanks for coming out to the show. I haven't forgotten you. I'll probably post that picture pretty soon here, just so you know. I'm proud to meet people like you. You're a true metalhead. Thanks for supporting metal. To everybody that's stopping in right now and saying where you're from, thank you. Much respect. It's just good to hear from everybody. The last couple of tours have been awesome. And I'm very grateful for the support that we have. So thank you so much.
Trash tapes. I like your connection to hardcore punk. Can you talk about any punk records in your collection?
Oh yeah. I mean, the thing is, most people that collect records are so anal when they put their records away and they position them and get them all nice, and so I have a lot of records in here, but they're some of my favorites that are blocked by toys because I've got a lot of toys back here. But Minor Threat, Out of Step. I love Minor Threat. That's one of my all-time. They're in my top 5. Obviously, the Bad Brains are right up there too. For me, it's kind of a tug of war between the Bad Brains and Minor Threat. Different styles though, but both hardcore bands in their own right, and obviously legendary bands that made masterpiece records. So those would be in the top 2. Obviously, since I'm out here in Los Angeles, a lot of the Los Angeles bands, like obviously the early Black Flag, first 4 years. Circle Jerks would be in there. There's a band called The Weirdos who I love. Early Cro-Mags, first 2 albums. Second record's got some good tracks on there. People tend to forget the second Cro-Mags record's got some really good tracks. There's a band from 2 bands, well, more, but a couple of bands from the East Coast besides the Cro-Mags. Leeway, who I think are a really underrated band. And another band called the Crumbsuckers. The Crumbsuckers' first 2 albums, love those records. I could do hardcore crossover all day, though. There's a band from Italy called Raw Power. Love Raw Power. Fucking amazing band. If you haven't heard Raw Power. And then I have to go with Feel the Darkness from Poison Idea. It's a little bit later of a record. Not too later, but Feel the Darkness from Poison Idea is one of my all-time favorite records. Let's not forget The Accused. I throw The Accused in there also. I mean, I could probably do this all day, but those are some of the hardcore crossover bands that I love. And obviously, don't want to forget early DRI. I think that Dealing With It is a masterpiece. So
Leeway, Crumbsuckers, Kick-Ass, Verbal Abuse.
Yeah, Verbal Abuse is great. Don't forget Attitude Adjustment from the Bay Area. Another band from here, from California, called Excel. I got to throw Excel in there. There's a lot, though. Crossover is a great genre. I think that it's kind of the perfect marriage between hardcore and metal. So yeah, and obviously you could throw us in there too. We came up with a lot of those bands, and we're really proud of it. So we have a connection to crossover. It's a part of what we do, but we're also a metal band, and we're very proud of that too.
Goth Cross said, my fiance Tommy said coffee, metal, and diecast.
Diecast, that's awesome.
We always talk about diecast.
Yeah, diecast, for those of you who don't know, diecast toys freaking rule. I have quite a few of those too. I love diecast. That's a serious toy collector. If you hear a toy collector bring up diecast, that means they're all in 110%. So much respect to coffee, music, toys, and diecast.
Do you like Mind Force? COC, Blast, RKL.
Blast should be in there. RKL should be in there. There's so many bands. I mean, this is another live stream. We can next time. I think we're gonna have to do a hardcore segment because there's so many great bands. Negazoyan. It's something like that.
Yeah.
Negazone is an Italian band. So whoever heard me bring up Raw Power probably brought that up. But yeah, they are freaking great. Let's not forget Rattus. Rattus, Rattaus or something like that. Rattus is another great band. There's so many bands. Like if you the Pusshead compilations, there was a guy named Pusshead who put out these compilation records. I would highly suggest checking out the Pusshead compilation records. Really good shit. But also don't forget the Dead Kennedys. Luckily, I got to see the Dead Kennedys one time with The Accused and also Neurosis. It was one of Neurosis's first shows. And a lot of people tend to forget that Neurosis started out as like a crossover hardcore band. So, yeah, whatever you want to call them now, but early days were like that. So, but like I said, there's so many great. There's a band. I think the only one that's gonna know this would probably be Mike Siegel. But there's a band called Stark Raving Mad. A lot of people don't know who they are or don't remember, but Stark Raving Mad were fucking incredible. They were basically the adversary to DRI. Them and DRI came up around the same time. I would also throw in early MDC. Early MDC is pretty badass. There was somebody else I was going to bring up that's freaking amazing, but it slipped my mind. Hopefully I'll remember him before this live stream's over, but those are just some of the bands. There's just a lot of great bands.
Septic Death.
Septic Death.
Fear.
Yep. Fear for sure. Fear's got to be in there. I did mention the Weirdos, and whenever I hear Fear, I think of the Weirdos also. If you haven't heard the Weirdos, check out Neutron Bomb. That song will it'll move you for sure. We're reading all your comments, so keep them coming. I can see my wife over there reading them, and thank you guys for bringing up whatever bands that you guys love. There's a band. Angry Samoans are great. Yeah.
Going off.
There's a band from Germany called Inferno. If you haven't heard Inferno, SOD ended up covering one of their songs, Ram It Up Your Cunt. They wrote Ram It Up, but it is Ram It Up C word. So if you haven't heard Inferno from Germany, look them up. They're amazing. Amazing, amazing band.
Greetings from Austria.
What's up, Austria?
So Mark, Metal Mark, he's just got the Immortal Legacy physical copy. Thanks for all your hard work, and he thanks me also. And any ideas on some U.S. dates? And how about Unleash the Dogs of War making the set list?
Nice, man. You know, you guys always get me with these deep cuts. So yeah, we should try to get that one back on the set. I remember whenever people hit me up about songs, we were in Detroit, and this veteran, a veteran came up to me and goes, "Hey, you guys need to play The New Age of Terror." So that's another song we're thinking about adding to the set. It's certain songs mean certain things to certain people, so it's always nice to hear you guys' feedback, and I thank you so much. Sacrilege, another great band. That's Mark from Forbidden, who I love. Mark's such a good guy. We always talk about Sacrilege. Sacrilege is another band. If you haven't heard Sacrilege, I would check them out. Party with God is an incredible record.
What's your favorite top 3 new age of British heavy metal bands?
Ooh, that's a fucked question. It's another fucked up question, but that's a great question. British new wave of heavy metal band. All right, so I'm going to start with the more popular and go to the more obscure. So the more popular, when I was first getting into it, I loved the first 4 Saxon records. The first 4 Saxon records to me are very important. Love that band, especially the early shit. When I heard Wheels of Steel and when I heard Strong Arm of the Law, those records both came out in the same year, by the way. But Strong Arm of the Law is probably my favorite record. Wheels of Steel is right there. Some people argue about that. Some people like Wheels of Steel better. Some people like Strong Arm of the Law better. But those records are mandatory listening in my humble opinion. A band that doesn't get thrown into the British New Wave, but they kind of should, even though they're not British, they're Canadian. I would go with the first 3 Anvil records. The first 3 Anvil records are fantastic, but that's not British New Wave. Obviously, Iron Maiden, come on. I mean, and you know, it's funny. I love, all the stuff that came later, but the first 2 Iron Maiden records, and I'm not just saying this because I'm a huge Paul Di'Anno fan, but those first two Iron Maiden records, they're punk as fuck. So if you don't have those records, and say you're into later Maiden, you have to go back and get the first two Iron Maiden records. Mandatory listening. Who else would be in there? Huge bands. Obviously, this is earlier, but you don't forget Priest. I mean, I know that they're not British New Wave, but the early Priest stuff, man, without that and without Sabbath, I don't think you'd have the British New Wave. I do like Diamond Head a lot. They're in there. Man. Okay, so more obscure. I mentioned Angel Witch earlier. Obviously, Budgie. You know who don't get enough respect, and they should, because they were a great band, and this is going to come out of left field. Nobody's ready for this, but here we go. Girls School. I saw Girls School on the first U.S. tour, and they were fucking amazing. So I was lucky I got to see them. They played the Whiskey A Go-Go first U.S. tour and blew me away. I was in the front row like a young-ass headbanger banging my head. I'm lucky my head didn't fall off. But they were amazing. Also, even though they're earlier, but they're still a big part of the British New Wave of heavy metal, let's not forget Lemmy and Motorhead. You can't forget Motorhead. You gotta give props. Motorhead spearheaded that whole thing as far as I'm concerned. Besides Maiden and Saxon, Motorhead's very important. Believe it or not, I'm going to give them a nod too, especially because of the first two albums. You're not ready for this one either, but the first two Def Leppard records, especially the first one. Great record, and they don't get enough credit. And from the U.S., even though they are U.S. bands, I would mention Riot, and I would also mention Y&T. And from Spain, don't forget Baron Rojo. So there's a lot of ways. Oh, yeah, and don't forget Loudness and Bow Wow, both Japanese bands. But Loudness and Bow Wow, all those bands contributed, man. So, they call it the British New Wave of Metal, but there's a lot of bands. Oh, yeah, I almost forgot Trust. Trust would be in there, too. They toured a lot with Maiden, toured with a lot of bands. But don't forget Trust. But that argument can go on all day. It depends where you're from. Like, I'm from the U.S., so there are people that are in Europe and people that are in South America that have a different look on these bands. But that's just, in my humble opinion, those bands matter massively.
Everyone's chiming a lot in. So I know I popped up here.
We're at now. You guys are going off. My wife's looking at the messages that are coming in, and it's insanity.
I don't want to forget to thank though Patrick D. Arbenville gave 20 stars, which I guess gets some monetization, which was really nice. So.
Well, thanks.
Yeah, and Mad Dog Tattoo I was one of the first Bakersfield thrasher that thanked on the Raging Violence. How long was HIRAX together before your first show in Bakersfield, and will you ever do a show with the original band?
Oh, man. God, you guys are asking more fucked questions, man. All right, let's put it this way. And I'm real honest, and sometimes that's not a good thing because some people don't like honesty. I seriously doubt, and I can look you guys right into the camera's eyes, not that I don't want to, because, a lot of the guys that I've played with over the years, man, whether we get along to this day or don't, they're like my brothers, and it's probably going to blow them away to even hear this, but I have a special place for everybody that I've ever played with, even whether maybe now it's not as good as it was when I first started playing with them, but personally, when you spend time with people, a part of your life is involved there, so you have these relationships, and it's almost like being a brother or a sister. So I doubt that the original lineup will ever get back together, and that's just being honest. I don't want to fucking lie to you guys. That's not how I work. Like I said, sometimes being honest bums people out. It's just that a lot of it's where you're older. Like, I'm 62 going on 63. I'll be 63 in September. And some of those relationships and friendships have changed. Some of those guys have families now, houses, children. Some of them can't go back out and do stuff, or they don't play anymore. Some guys don't play anymore. Some do, but it's a different time. Like, back when I was with some of those guys, I was in my teenage years or early 20s, and we're just different people now. But I do wish them all the best, because you can't have hate in your heart, man. Like, you really need to wish other people the best, and hopefully they have a good life, and hopefully you have a good life. Hate doesn't help anybody, and staying angry, even though it's easier said than done, staying angry doesn't help either. But yeah, so as the original lineup, I doubt that'll happen. I wish those guys the best, and we made some good music together, and that's I cherish that forever. Um, I don't know. There are other questions. You guys are getting me all emotional with this shit. It's like, you know what? I put myself on the spot here because I'm answering questions and I'm being honest about it. A lot of people try to dodge questions, and I just don't know if I can do that. But I just think you just got to be honest. But I'm like, I'm behind the camera here and I'm getting asked questions and I try to respond to them, you know?
Yeah, and I mean, on my end, I know we try to give everybody a chance. It's just kind of hard work, you
It's
know.
really hard. And also being in a band, like this is what people they don't see the behind the scenes. It ain't easy. You're dealing with different personalities. You're dealing with people. Sometimes there's stuff going on in your life where you can't be in a band, or maybe you're thinking differently. Also, a lot of people don't realize drugs and alcohol are involved in some of this shit too. And I'll be honest about that. For years, I partied. I don't party anymore, but I did for a long time. That made me a different person. I'm not trying to preach to anybody. I say you got to live your life whatever fucking way you want to live it. But for me, I had to make some changes, or I probably wouldn't be sitting here doing this live stream. I'd probably be dead. Uh, Everybody makes different decisions in their lifetime, but for many years, and everybody knows this about Hyrax, we were heavy drinkers. That was probably to our detriment because we partied fucking hard. All of us shouldn't still be alive, to be honest with you. If the band was all sitting together, we would be very honest to tell you that we're lucky to be alive. So.
All right. Marshall Goodman, Katon, good to see you, my man. You introduced me to Primus when I came into Zed Records back in the late 80s, the World Trust days. Great to see you still share.
Marshall, I love you, man. That came out of nowhere. This is like, is this your life? This is like, this is your life. I don't know if you guys remember that show. There used to be a show called This Is Your Life. Marshall, I love you, man. So good to hear from you. I'm speechless, man. And even hearing from Mike Siegel, all you guys that are on there, Mike Lund, Daryl Amaki, many friends. I can't get all your names right now, but fuck, 4th of July, man. This is the craziest 4th of July ever for me. And I think we got like another 10 minutes left, somewhere around there. So we're going to try to answer more questions before we get out of here. But you guys are kicking my ass right now with this shit. It's almost like I'm being ganged up by emotions.
I can't hit and run. Satan, A to Z.
Satan's a great band.
First Strike.
Satan don't get enough credit. That's a great British band. I know them very well and respect the shit out of that band. Love them. Russ, if Russ sees this live stream, Russ is he's the salt of the earth, an incredible guitar player, but also an even more incredible human. So much love and respect to Russ from Satan. Love the band. Like I said, we got 10 more minutes, I think.
Saw y'all at Metal Fest and it was sick. Genuinely such a great stage presence. Also love that Paul Stanley poster. It's like, where's that?
It's a bust.
Oh, back
yeah,
there.
The Paul Stanley from Kiss back there. That's a bust. It's basically a short statue. There's 4 of them in this house, which my wife used to. Well, she still thinks I'm insane, but one time I was I was at a swap meet with my wife many years ago, and I was walking through the swap meet, and I saw all this trash piled up on these boxes, and when I looked down below, the boxes were 4 Kiss busts that size of Paul, Gene, Ace, and Peter. And so I made a deal with the guy, and luckily I had 2 other people there with me at the swap meet, and all 4 of us carried these Kiss busts after we took the trash off the top of them, and the boxes were pretty much still in very good condition, and I've kept them to this day. But that's one of the Kiss busts. There's actually, under it is Peter Criss. It's another bust, and across the room there's a Gene Simmons and an Ace Frehley. I will admit, even with all the different controversy with Kiss, I love early Kiss. They're one of my favorite bands. They're probably one of the reasons I play music is because of Kiss, I'll be honest with you. Actually, they have a new live album coming out. It's not released yet. I think maybe August. You guys can look it up on the internet. from Anaheim, either convention center, I think it's stadium, probably Anaheim Stadium. New Kiss Live record. Look it up on the internet, but it's coming pretty soon, and it looks like it's a pretty good thing. So hopefully they did it right, and we get to hear some vintage. I think it's right around Destroyer, that period. But check it out when you get a chance. The new Kiss Live album.
Um, the- how much New York hardcore influence on HIRAX?
Oh, a lot, a lot. The New York hardcore thing. Even bands like Agnostic Front, great band. I have a lot of respect for Agnostic Front, so that's one of those bands that you might not directly hear the influence, but they're in there. I mean, I think all hardcore in some way is in Hyrax as well as metal. I mean, obviously, I'm a fucking metalhead, but I grew up on both, so like I had a great influx of both styles, and that's why I was never uh, racist towards either. Like I love metal and I love hardcore and crossover and punk, so those are fused in our style, and they always will be. I was always open to that stuff. Luckily, living in California, there was plenty of both. I mean, we had metal. Some of my earliest days were going to punk shows and metal shows. I could go see Armored Saint, and I could also go see GBH. I could go see YNT would come down from San Francisco, and I would go see them at the Starwood, and then I would go see the Ramones. So, and another thing, the Ramones. There's a poster back here. If I don't know if you can see it, but the Ramones are one of my all-time favorite bands. I grew up on them. To me, between the Ramones and Kiss, that's East Coast as well. Even the New York Dolls, all that shit I love. I love the Dead Boys. The Dead Boys, I think, are from Cleveland, somewhere around there. So, I just grew up on a lot of different stuff. Obviously, the Stooges, Iggy Pop, all that stuff. But at the same time, a lot of heavy metal, Black Sabbath, Thin Lizzy. Thin Lizzy's been one of my favorite bands for many, many years. I love early Deep Purple. I'm just open to a lot of stuff, and I love it that way. So, for me, music's like food. I eat it up. But I'll take more questions. We're getting a little bit more time. I appreciate you guys, even hearing from some people that I haven't heard from in years. I never know who's watching these live streams, but it's always entertaining. And I do watch them later on to see some of the comments, because we can't catch all you guys' comments because there's so many coming in, because we're on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook, and we're going back and forth checking each camera to see what the comments are. So I appreciate it, and I can't thank you enough. And I'm glad we did this. Hey, by the way, happy 4th of July, whether you celebrate it or not, or whether you blow up shit or not. I live in a city. I'll tell you about our 4th of July, because we're going to be going out in a little bit. But our 4th of July in Long Beach, California is crazy because, for one, we're a rebellious city by nature. That's just how we roll. And also, fireworks are banned in Long Beach, where I live. So the banning of the fireworks only makes it where people want to blow up shit even more. So 4th of July in Long Beach is like a war. It's like there's just shit blowing up. Even the night before last night, the eve of 4th of July, people are blowing up shit. But tonight is the big kahuna. Like, what's going to go down tonight is huge here. A lot of shit will be popping off. Luckily, we live by the beach, so a lot of people take their shit down there because there's sand and they can't really burn down a house. God forbid. But so yeah, it's gonna go off tonight, and I always like to come back and watch the news too, because if you look at Los Angeles in general, when it's 4th of July, just the smoke from all the fireworks is insane. Like, I think it takes a few days for the smoke to clear out. But yeah, so happy 4th of July, whether you celebrate it or not.
Happy 4th.
We wish everybody a safe one. Be careful out there. You don't have to hold fireworks in your hand. I mean, just be careful. I get being a daredevil, but, be fucking careful. You can fuck yourself up, and we don't want nobody doing that. We want you to keep your eyes and your limbs, so be careful out there, but have a good time. Yeah, I'll take a few more questions.
Still need to know the better album cover. Don't Break the Oath or Emperor's Return. What's up, Scott?
That's a good question. They're both great covers, man. That's a fucked question, okay, Scott? I love it, but it's a fucked up question. But what I can do is I'll give you some good info on the records. I love both records. Don't Break the Oath, even Melissa. Those Merciful Fate records are done with taste and they're beautiful. They're beautiful. To me, album covers are a piece of art. So I love when they're done really well. The Emperor's Return cover by Celtic Frost is a very interesting cover because I know something about that record that a lot of people don't know. So if you have the Celtic Frost Emperor's Return cover, the same guy that did that artwork also did Creator stuff. He did a lot of artwork for Creator, and he also did HIRAX Immortal Legacy. The HIRAX Immortal Legacy cover was done by the same guy that did Emperor's Return. Philip Levere did all those album covers. But he told me something really interesting about the Celtic Frost Emperor's Return cover. If you look at the artwork, the legs, especially on there's two girls and I believe like the serpent guy on that cover. When you look at their legs, the knees, those aren't finished. He was rushed by the record label. They needed to get the record out so bad and so fast that they rushed him, and he never finished the legs on the Emperor's Return cover. So that's a little bit of trivia. I don't know if that's going to make the internet, but at least you guys will know that album cover by Celtic Frost, Emperor's Return, is not finished. But it was released anyways. So metal!
Nice.
Yeah.
A lot of Macapas are saying hello.
Macapa! We're coming to Macapa, Brazil, next weekend. We are coming to Brazil,
World
Macapa.
Rock Day.
World Rock Day. Again, World Rock Day. HIRAX is coming to Macapa, Brazil. We'll see you next weekend. I got to get ready to sign off, so I'm going to...
it says blow shit up and listen to metal.
Yeah, this weekend, tonight we're blowing shit up and listening to metal here in Long Beach. But I want to say thank you to everybody who tuned in and everybody that'll see this later because we're going to save these so they'll play later and everybody can watch them if they didn't catch it live. Check us out on Instagram, Facebook, also YouTube. And don't forget, there's Immortal Legacies up on iTunes and streaming on all platforms. And if you need HIRAX merch, go to HIRAX Big Cartel and HIRAX Bandcamp. That's where you can find everything. I think I covered almost everything. We're coming to South America. We're coming back to Central America. We're going to do Tijuana, Mexico at Dragon Rojo Bar, 12th anniversary free show. And we'll be coming back to do some more U.S. dates and Canadian dates, and we'll be back to Europe. Thank you to everybody that came out to the tour. Everybody that saw us in Scandinavia, Sweden, Norway, Belgium, Holland, Germany. Am I missing anybody?
No, just that we're going to do a Colombia. We
We haven't announced the Colombian date. We're coming to Colombia, so all the headbangers in Colombia. There's a date going to be announced probably in the next week. HIRAX is coming back to Colombia before the year is out, before 2026 is over. I want to thank you guys. I want to thank my wife for putting up with my shit, and she puts up with some shit. But I want to thank my wife, Anna Jakobsen, Anna DePena now, for marrying me and helping me through everything. And to you,
team.
everybody
Love
watching,
to see everybody.
Yeah. And to all my friends and people that I've known for decades, and to all the fans of HIRAX music, thank you so much. We'll see you guys soon. Stay heavy. Oh, yeah. We also released Hate, Fear, and Power on Silver Edition cassette.
Ooh.
Hate, Fear, and it also comes with a digital download card, which is pretty crazy. So that's in there as well. But yeah, this is the 40th anniversary. 40th anniversary of Hate, Fear, and Power. And check it out when you guys get a chance. Thanks again. Stay heavy. Stay metal. Take care of each other. Be good to each other. We'll see you next time. Yeah!
Yeah. See you later, alligator.